Thank you for joining us and welcome to the Lactation series. So, today we're going to talk about our beloved Haakaa. If you are a new mom and have never heard of what this contraption is, I'll tell you. So, this basically is, they call it a silicone pump. It's not a pump in the traditional sense when you think of, like a hand pump that you manually compress or the double electric pumps. It's not quite to that caliber, but it is a pump because it does provide stagnant but gentle-ish suction. So you apply it and basically suction it onto the breast. And its purpose is to collect milk, but it does have some level of suction. Now, it's not going to be like your pumping suction. Pumping suction. So when you have, your double electric pump, it would be suctioning your nipple and it would be going in and out. This does not do that. It is just stagnant suction, but it's continuous. It is the same level the entire duration. So because of the suction, it can basically withdraw a little bit more milk than if you were not using any sort of suction. It should not be hugely significant, but there is some level of a suction. It may not be super forceful, but the idea for this in mind was to create a suction so it'd stay on the breast while you're breastfeeding. It is specifically helpful. I think my favorite time to use this is shortly after you give birth, probably after you've been home a few days, and you're past the colostrum stage. So once you start entering that transitional or that mature milk stage, this is very handy. So if you are in that stage, have been in that stage, we know that once the mature milk comes in, we start getting what's known as a letdown. It is your milk ejection reflex. So this occurs basically when a baby or a pump has been suckling or suctioning your nipple for a certain amount of time that it triggered that milk ejection reflex in your brain, and essentially milk starts flowing out of your nipples at a faster rate than prior and a faster rate than after that period. And when this happens, it doesn't happen to just one breast. It happens to both breasts at the same time. So when we are feeding a baby on one breast and we experience that letdown, we are also having a letdown on the opposite breast that has no baby or pump on it. So it's not, one breast gets let down, the other one's fine. It happens to both simultaneously. So, and what happens is when we are feeding that baby and we have the letdown, so baby is drinking the letdown from one breast, and then what's happening to the other breast that doesn't have a baby or a pump? It is basically, I call it the wet zone. So anything within a marginal area around your breast, your leg, the couch, the dog, your husband, your partner, your friend, your mom, they're in the wet zone. Especially because when it sprays, it can really spray. So this comes in handy because essentially, whether you want it to or not, you're going to be leaking milk anyways. Your breast is automatically expressing milk, and I call that free milk. So basically, it is milk that you did not really have to do anything to get. It is just simply coming out. So I love the idea that you can use a milk collector like this and catch that free milk, because if you weren't, it would essentially just be going on your leg or some other object nearby. Or you can use something like this and you could save it, and if you were trying to build a stash or have a little bit of extra milk, that's a good way to have a little collection of breast milk to keep in on hand, whether you're trying to go back to work, trying to build a stash for that, whether you just want a bottle for occasional use, whatever the situation may be. This is a good way to kind of start that collection off, and essentially it's so easy and maintainable time management wise. So that is a good way that I like it. So it does come kind of in a funny shape. Now, I've seen a lot of moms try this. So you get your boob, that's probably attached to you, and they just do this, and then it doesn't stick. There's no suction to it. So the proper way to do this is you're going to flip this little flange area backwards and then squeeze the bottom. Then insert, hold on, you might want to hold this down while you squeeze so it stays. Then you're going to take your nipple, try to insert in the middle, and then roll the flange up, and now we have suction. And it's staying on either way. So that is essentially the proper use, how to use it, why it's handy. And another really fun trick that I specifically enjoy the Haakaa for is it is a really good thing to have if you ever get a clogged milk duct. So a clogged milk duct is basically what happens. It's a fat plug of sorts where the fatty parts, the fat globules of your milk get stuck and is blocking the milk duct. So that specific milk duct is not releasing milk. It's causing milk stasis. This happens essentially when we miss a feeding or for whatever reason, we're not fully draining the breast, whether that's by baby or by pump. The milk is not fully being removed at the time. We missed a feeding, baby started sitting through the nights, baby started having shorter nursing sessions, something of the sort to basically not completely drain the breast. And that can be rough. That can be a rough situation because once that clog is there, you're going to eventually feel like a pea-sized rock almost under the skin of your breast. And once you notice that, shortly after, you're going to feel some tenderness, might even be painful to breastfeed. And now if we were to completely not do anything and just leave it there and continue to not fully express the milk, that would put us at a predisposition, a high risk for mastitis, which is something we very much want to avoid. Mastitis happens when a clogged duct has stayed too long and the milk behind the clog has stayed. It's stagnant, and that creates a warm, dark, stagnant environment for bacteria. Mastitis is essentially an infection and inflammation in the breast. It can make you feel like you have the flu. It can make you sick, fever, chills, you name it. Basically, you're going to feel like you've been hit by a train, which is no good when you need to be taking care of a baby. You want to show up for your baby, for your family, for yourself, as healthy as you can be. So that's something we really want to avoid is mastitis. And the way to do that is if you notice a clog, definitely try to break it as soon as you can. Try to treat it at home before it gets to the state of a mastitis. And before that, we want to be preventative and make sure we're moving milk frequently. In the beginning stages, about every 2-3 hours, and that can increase a little bit over time, depending what stage baby is, etc. That's a little different from each mom to another mom. So that's just a little overview of that. So one of my best tricks to break up a clog to help you feel better, nurse better, avoid mastitis is using the Haakaa actually. So what you want to do is you want to get some Epsom salt. And you want to get a big scoop, maybe a tablespoon, 2 tablespoons, totally up to you. So I have my little Epsom salt here, and I'm going to go ahead and put it in my Haakaa, something like that. So the Epsom salt helps because it reduces swelling, and when we have clogged duct, there's definitely some inflammation and swelling. It will help with the process of breaking and pulling that plug duct out. So then we want to get water. So we want it warm. We don't want it to burn you, but we want it as warm as you can comfortably stand. That will be a little different from each mom. And then you want to pour it into the Haakaa pretty much all the way because we want our nipple to be actually submerged in this warm water. So I'm going to go over here and try not to spill this on myself. This would probably work better if you had some sort of spout. Oh, see, we're still on a teeny bit. And then I take the end of a spoon, go in there and stir, just give it a good stir, make sure it's a little bit dissolved. Now this is the fun part. Am I going to spill this? Maybe so. So we're going to do the same thing. Probably got a little too much in there. So we are going to flip the flange. Okay, it only went on the floor, not me. And then we're gonna place the nipple in first, otherwise the when you squeeze it, it may shoot out. So nipple in first. Ah, there it is. But we got suction. There it is. So this is very similar when we're dealing with breast milk and breastfeeding. It goes everywhere, and that's okay. We're moms, we're not afraid. So this is my fun trick. So have this hang out prior to nursing about 10-15 minutes. This really helps. This is like the pre-breaking the clog. So this puts the breast, the nipple in a situation to be ready for that clog to be broken. So the heat, the suction, and the Epsom salt will all help bring that clog out. And then if you do this like 10-15 minutes prior to nursing, then we have baby or pump on the breast afterwards, because this is that stagnant suction. It's good for certain things, but it's not completely removing the milk at the breast. That's what a baby's for. That's what a pump is for. I will say a baby's suction is always superior to a pump. So do this for 10 to 15 minutes, then feed baby. And also, when you're feeding baby, it might be a good idea for you to physically massage where you feel that hard spot to help break it up even more. This is essentially a fat plug. That heat will reduce swelling. Along with Epsom salt, the heat will also help melt the fat, ready for it to be broken with the right amount of stimulation and suction. So this is what you do. It may not be like a cure-all the first time. Do this 3 to 5 times a day. And for most situations within 72 hours, you're going to see a huge reduction in that clog. So this is our fun trick. Okay, yeah, see, it's on there pretty well. So that is my fun Haakaa trick. These are a couple of my favorite reasons why I love it. Hold on. Okay. Yay, no squirting milk. So these are a little bit of my fun tricks that I like to share with you. Don't mind me, we're getting a little messy over here. Elaine, yes, I feel like that is so helpful. I mean, there's all kinds of tricks: dangle feeding, massage, heat compress, hand expression in the shower. I will say this one is probably one of my favorites because it's most effective across the board. I see this being very helpful for moms pretty much in most situations. So this is the best of the best for me to you because I care. Goodness. So that is our fun little first lactation series. Thank you again if you made it through this far. Thank you again so much for joining us. Feel free to send a question, comments, you name it. I want you guys all to know that myself and Jans both have this policy, open door. If there's anything that I can answer for you, if you have any questions, feel free, never hesitate to message me. I'm always here, and I do this because I care and I got a lot of love, and I'm so happy to share this with you. If you have any ideas, maybe you want to learn something specific in a video like this, feel free to shoot me an idea. I am absolutely open anytime. So thank you all again for joining me today. This was fun. Don't forget to like and share this video to enter in our monthly giveaway, and we'll do a raffle, go over that at the end of the month. So thank you for your support. Thanks for watching. We'll see you probably later this week. Bye.